It was 35 years ago that the late great Niki Lauda took his 25th and final Grand Prix win here at Zandvoort. He came from 10th on the grid to beat his McLaren teammate Alain Prost by just 0.2 of a second. Well, Zandvoort is a very different circuit today, of course, but still one with an incredible legacy. And we're going to add to that. Welcome along to the 2020 Dutch Grand Prix. A lap of this short 2.6 mile Zandvoort circuit features 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left. The main straight is 678 metres long and heads into turn 1, the Tarzan corner. With DRS down the main straight into the braking zone, that could be the best overtaking opportunity on the track. Now, Anthony Davidson, I wonder, might we be in for some early pit stops today from the midfield teams, all trying to put some pressure on or disrupting things for the leaders up front?
If you're in the middle of the pack, you got your own race to run. I don't think they're going to be thinking about causing trouble up front. However, closer to the head of the pack, don't be surprised to see some split strategies. If you're running second and third, for example, bringing one car in for an undercut while leaving the other one out there longer can put a lot of pressure on the leader and maybe force them into an error.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel and Albon, Sainz, Perez, Norris and Lance Stroll, Ricciardo, Ocon, Pierre Gasly and Alesi, Magnussen, Kvyat, Antonio Giovinazzi and George Russell, Grosjean, Gardner, Latifi and Kimi Raikkonen finishes off the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Start.
Keep pushing. Let's capitalise on that first lap. Green flag. Green flag. We're racing again. DRS. DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Virtual safety car, reduce speed immediately and keep a positive delta. Drop your speed, our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately. From the engine is going to be down slightly. It's showing some minor wear. VSC ending, we're going green. Maintain positive delta until the green flags. We're leading our teammate by 2.6 seconds. To the car in front is 5.1 seconds. Some information on Norris. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car. Push now. We're boxing this lap. Exit now. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilize some of this energy. Giuliano is coming in for his stop. You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 per lap. Gap to car in front is 4.3 seconds.
Whoops. Pushing the limits now.
Fuel target is +1. Faster engine modes are available.
Oh, alright. Turn that up for the last few laps then.
Okay, gap ahead is 7.1 seconds. You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 per lap. Okay, you're catching the car ahead, but remember, we need to get to the end of the race on these tyres. We have 2 laps of fuel remaining. Our gap to the car in front is 6.5 seconds. This is your final lap of the race. We're accumulating some wear on the MGUK. To manage this, we'll need to lower our ERS deployment mode. That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
Wow. Driver of the day, really.
Many doubted whether they could pull off the win here in Zandvoort, but they have done, and done it in spectacular style.
Mercedes re-establishing their grip at the top.
Tell me, Ant, how did
Lewis
they
as well.
manage to achieve this win?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection, a shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. Let's have a quick look at how the driver's standings have changed. Well, the gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race today for our championship leader. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
I have to give it to Gardner. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Mercedes just gleaned off into the distance. We had a disastrous qualifying. Just trying to slot into the midfield there with no damage, which we managed to do. Got in front of our teammate. We had to slam the brakes on there not to smash into the back of those two. Get the apex of the corner there. Well, that was a risky one as well. Got it sideways in there. It was quite action-packed first couple of laps, and then it just settled into, I don't know, these 6-7 seconds adrift of the person in front and then also on the person behind, so a very lonely 14th place in the end. But more or less being in the middle of the pack, I was starting to get the flow midway to the latter part of that, through that Grand Prix. This was prior to the pit stops. Opted to go with mediums to start with. Was getting swamped by the guys on softs. As soon as we switched to the soft, we looked a lot more comfortable. and the Haas just kind of bumping me around the apex there. And then the Alfa Romeo getting sideways. Interesting. A couple of little tussles in the midfield. No points today, but it was a good. Our race pace was good. And that was a good thing about the car. We just edged in front. 4 races remaining. 5 points in front of Giovinazzi on the rivalry. And we're catching Alesi up in terms of acclaim level. We're on level 4, he's on level 5. Team's on level 6. So we did a couple of upgrades on the base, HQ to the simulator, and what was the other one? Oh, I think it was development time maybe. There we go. Quality control. So improved the failure chart, because we've had a couple of parts that we tried to make have failed. So I wanted to try and... They were in other departments, to be fair. So I thought, well, durability is an important one. So we don't really want to risk the points and the failures to be happening in stuff that's going to make the car more reliable. So I figured we'll plow some money into that. Activities. Let's do chassis building. Chassis team building. And then straight off to Barcelona. So the races are coming thick and fast now. So that's how the championship looks. We are 7th. We're in a battle with Racing Point for 6th place. I have a good feeling that the aero leaning way that our car is, as you can see, we've got quite a few upgrades going on in terms of the aero.
If it were me, this is probably what I'd invest in.
He reckons chassis. I reckon aero. Monday 25th of May. So it's not going to be in time for Catalonia. But I think we've got a good car for Spain. I think we should be able to get a decent result there. Hopefully some points. So yeah, hopefully this Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort was to your liking. And if you want to join us in Spain, then keep your eyes open, because these videos are going to be coming thick and fast. So thanks for joining me today, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.